Hey guys, what's going on? Nathan here, Midwest Outdoor Experience. Just wanted to come at you today with a video on shed hunting. And soon the deer are going to be dropping their antlers, if they haven't already, and going to be able to go out in the woods and find some. So I wanted to share with you the 4 main points that I use to find sheds in the winter months. So first and foremost, deer shed their antlers from usually about the end of January to the first week of March, and that sometimes they can lose them as early as December and hold on to them as late as April, but that's a little more rare usually. Why people shed hunt? It's a great way to get outside, good way to get active, get some exercise, just enjoy a nice day. If you get a nice day during the winter, it can be enjoyable to do that. I personally like it because I like to get the antlers and just collect them. I think they're neat. They're always different, so something I like about them. And another big reason I really like shed hunting is I'm very thorough through my deer pictures, and I identify which deer is which. And usually when I find the sheds, I can say, oh, this was this deer. And I find that that's very good for me the following year to get information on the deer, where they were bedding later in the winter, or any information like that, anything I can use for the next season. So there's a tons of reasons for people to shed hunt, and if you've never gone before, I really suggest it, and maybe you can use some of these tips I'm about to talk about to help you out. So stay tuned and let's get right into this. Okay guys, well, here is Google Earth and the image of our property. As you can see, it is a 139 acre little tract with a mixture of woods and hayfield, and we also have food plots scattered throughout that, but I'll get to that. So this is the land I'm going to use as my example of how I go about shed hunting. Okay, now let's get into my 4 main focuses to increase our chances of finding sheds. What you see here is circled in yellow is what I call a bedroom. So that is a super thick, dense plot of woods that we do not go into unless we are tracking a deer or shed hunting. There are tons of deer that bed in there, and we have food plots just to the south of that to draw them out. We like to stay out of there at all costs, though, just so the deer have somewhere to go and be safe. And there's a couple more of those on the property. I just used that one as our first example. So clearly I like to go in there and start off looking where the deer are spending a lot of time, because they love to use those thickets for some protection to get out of the cold weather. It provides them a safe place, and they spend a lot of time in there, so that makes the odds of finding some antlers go up. Now, along with some bedding areas, south-facing slopes can be a great spot to look for deer antlers, because when the sun comes out on a cold day, the sun hits the south-facing slope and makes it almost like a little warm spot for deer to go, and they like that, and they'll bed there. And so south-facing slopes can be super great for finding deer sheds, and it's a double whammy if you have a bedding area that's on a south-facing slope, like this right here pictured is completely south-facing, and a lot of deer tuck away in that little section of woods. And also, as you'll see later, we have more food plots around for drawing them out. But it's a very thick patch of woods that we do not go into unless we are tracking deer or looking for sheds, and it can be a really great place to look. So first and foremost, I always like to start off searching through bedding areas and south-facing slopes. Okay, so the next major focus point I like to use is to look in and around food plots. So this time of year, food is more critical than ever. Deer are relying on food sources to get them through the long, harsh, cold winter. So if you have food plots on your property, it's always a good thing to do to walk through your plots, and you really got to look carefully if you have bean or corn planted, because beans and corn can be way trickier to see antlers in than any kind of green field, usually. So just something to keep in mind, to go slow and take your time. Real quick, I just wanted to talk about how I go about looking. I like to really slow down and look straight ahead while I walk because I feel like I can keep better track of where I've been. This is just how I do it. It's what I call the grid method, where I just pretty much walk the red and up and down, up and down, up and down until I get to my zone. I decide to look, and then I go side to side, side to side. And, you know, it's amazing. Sometimes an antler will catch light from one direction, and you see it great. And if you turn around and look at it the other way, it's like, oh my gosh, how in the world did I see that antler? And so it can be a very effective method. So just because it's wintertime now, that does not mean this deer are going to stop going to get drinks of water. So in this photo, I've highlighted all of the creeks that run into bigger creeks and a little pond that's on our property there, and wanted to talk about the importance of looking around water. So I'll usually start off with looking around the lake first, but you have to keep in mind that it will actually be one of the first things also to freeze over because it's just sitting water. Where the creeks, if you've had rain or snow runoff, because that water's flowing, deer may be drinking from the creeks a little bit more because it's not frozen. So that's something to keep in mind. So I will typically walk up and down the creeks because you never know where a deer is going to stop. The focus point I use are looking for the paths and places that I know where deer are crossing onto our property. Our property is, it's got fence all the way around it. So in order for deer to get onto our tract of land, they got to jump a fence. And when a deer jumps, if its antlers are loose on its head, there's a good chance that they could fall off once it hits the other side, or as it's about to jump. You know, just a slight jolt will really could increase your chance of finding an antler at that heavy crossing point. And right here, you'll see there's a big creek that is right there that deer cross in one specific spot, just how the bank is shaped. And that's another spot that I'll look, because as they go down or go up, they'll jolt a little bit to get up that slope. And that's a spot that I'll look right away when I go looking for these crossing points. And another thing to be said, kind of to go along with crossing points, if you do get tired of walking, I don't like to search in hayfields a whole lot, but if you need a break and want to keep searching, hop on your UTV or four-wheeler and just comb these hayfields, because you never know when a deer is going to lose its antlers, that's for sure. And if you can just ride around and kind of keep an eye out, I mean, at least you're still looking and you're not just losing time if you only have so much time to look. So just another little helpful hint in there for helping find deer antlers. And guys, these are just some of the main focus points I like to focus on while I'm shed hunting. I hope that these points have been beneficial to you, whether you're new to shed hunting or you've done some in the past. Hope you've enjoyed the video, and I just wish you all good luck finding sheds this year. Hopefully you find some great matching sets. So until next time, thanks for watching and have a good one.